This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news today, the nation's leader presented what could be described as one of the most extensive budgets presented by the government. In a nationally televised address from Parliament, the Prime Minister laying out the government's plan to shift the country's economy, create a more skilled labor force, reduce unemployment and taxes, and get a major resort property back on track. Joan Davis-Roll has the latest.
It is always shocking when you see people who are elected to Parliament to represent the Bahamian people wishing and hoping that something would not happen. But it has happened.
It has happened. A deal has been sealed for the completion of the Bahamas resort. It was a highly charged moment that strategically came some 4 hours after the budget communication commenced. The announcement many nationwide were waiting to hear and involved the country's newest and most controversial resort, which future the Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, announced is now headed in a new direction.
We are pleased to confirm that XM and CSEC, the lender to Bahamas and the parent company of the resort's general contractor, respectively, have entered into a framework agreement which provides a pathway forward for the completion of the Bahamas resort.
That was not the only resort property given focused attention. Shifting to the multi-million-dollar Resort World Bimini's further expansion, the Prime Minister stated that it's another bright spot for the government.
Resorts World has committed $60 million in operating capital and plans to invest a further $35 million in additional capital treatment over the next 12 months. Mr. Speaker, official ribbon cutting. This ain't no illusion. Mr. Speaker, official ribbon cutting for the new 300-room 5-star Bimini Hilton Hotel will take place on the 4th of June this year. It's an extraordinary creation down there, Mr. Speaker, and it has, Mr. Speaker, a boutique casino, spa, meeting space, and the largest marina in the Bahamas. Resorts World Bimini will soon introduce the launch of a new ferry service from Miami dubbed Brig for Bimini, delivering faster and more direct access to the island.
With 30% of young people unemployed, the Prime Minister boasted about a new training initiative at the Grand Bahama Shipyard, which involved an investment of $2 million. It will see some 600 jobs held by foreigners being transferred to 600 Bahamian workers. Still in the northern Bahamas, the budget communication was punctuated with signs of renewed investor confidence, from the newly revised portions of the Hawksbill Creek Agreement to a reduction of some customs duties. New infrastructural projects involving the Grand Bahama Airport and the seaport for East Grand Bahama were also highlighted.
The Freeport runway is being resurfaced at a cost of $13 million. Freeport Harbor Company is spending $14 million on the refurbishments of berths 3, 8, and 9. PharmaCam has already broken ground on a $150 million extension. The MOU and waiver of exclusivity agreement with the Freeport Harbor Company has cleared the way for completion of negotiations with Carnival Cruise Lines for the creation of a major cruise port with compelling attractions in East Grand Bahama. When coupled with ongoing discussions with MSC to consider home port, a container repair facility, a logistics center, creating a maritime training center, and opening up employment for large numbers of Bahamians on their ships, Grand Bahama is poised for significant expansion as a hub for cruise operations.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, Joan. While the Prime Minister also outlining some tax relief in Parliament today, churches are now allowed to import air conditioners duty-free. Duty has been reduced or eliminated on household and grocery items, including appliances and parts, prepared turkey, ham, beef and chicken meat, macaroni, spaghetti with meat and the like, ice cream, biscuits, waffles, cakes and pastries, among others. Duty has also been eliminated on baby clothes and reduced on used clothing. Duty is now eliminated on costume jewelry, perfumes, and certain leather goods. Duty reduced on computer peripherals, routers, and related items. Reduced or eliminated on various building materials such as plywood, sheetrock, cement, roofing tiles and shingles, electrical wiring, marble and granite, and other stones, among others. Now, the environmental levy has been reduced on used tires to reflect the low value cost of such imports, and VAT has been removed from ancillary fees paid along with tuition fees. Switching gears now, an economic boost for Grand Bahama today as Carnival Breeze made its initial voyage to the Freeport harbor. The ship is adding this destination to its itinerary, and tourism officials are excited. Cleopatra Murphy has more.
The Freeport Harbor was a hive of activity Wednesday as the Carnival Breeze made its first stop in Grand Bahama. With the usual amenities like a casino and 2 pools, the ship has 1,400 crew members and brought 4,800 passengers, many of whom patronized the vendors. Manager of Maritime and Sports in the Ministry of Tourism, Nuvalari Chadasingh, says the new ship will spur the economy.
It means more business to the island, which translates into more economic activity on the ground for our local people and our entrepreneurs, our business houses, and that is what we want. We appreciate this relationship that we have with Carnival Cruise Lines. It's the premier cruise line in the region. For Grand Bahama Island to welcome another ship from Carnival, it speaks volumes as well.
Port Director of the Freeport Harbor Company, Orlando Forbes, also anticipates an economic boost due to the ship's passenger load. He says it bodes well for tourism industry stakeholders.
For the vendors, for the drivers, for the locals who rely on the service, it means a short arm for the community, and that's particularly big, being the fact that Grand Bahama is itself coming out of depression. So, it means, the locals have some monies in their pockets today.
Vessel Captain Vincenzo Alcaraz says the cruise ship is pleased to add Grand Bahama to its list of ports and intends to stop in Freeport once a month.
It's a very nice destination, the Grand Bahama. It gives us a lot of things to our guests. It's different type of ports compared to other destinations in the Caribbean.
Alcaraz says he hopes to make Grand Bahama a port of call for a long time to come. During a short ceremony, he exchanged plaques with tourism and other officials, welcoming the vessel on its inaugural call to the island. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us, there's more news right after this.